one of the things that you show people how to do is a mouth breathing. Can you describe that?
Well, we begin with the breathing. It's full connected breathing through the mouth. And we start with the mouth breathing because it allows people to get a greater volume of air in, but it also accesses the lower chakras, which is definitely where we need to begin the breathing and work with the breath from the bottom up. That's the natural flow of the breath. It fills the lower part of the lungs, and then the breath goes all the way up into the upper part, and then when you exhale, it's the reverse from the upper down to the lower.
Now, I also believe I've come across information within your materials about the different parts of the respiratory system holding different subconscious beliefs, or there are different emotions, or maybe you could clarify that for me.
Sure. Each part of the respiratory system represents, and it's a map we've been given that it's phenomenally accurate. When I do a workshop or a program, I do what we call several breathing analysis, where I will have someone lie down and I look at the way they breathe and then analyze it and give them feedback on their breathing pattern and what it means in their life. And people are absolutely dumbfounded that I could know them so accurately by how they breathe. But our breath does tell a story, the different parts of, and also based a lot on the expressions of the chakras, but also about the inflow and outflow of breath, what people do with it, the different parts where it goes, the different places where it's shut off. Also tells a story about the subconscious and different areas of expression and different behaviors. So it's a pretty amazing map of our breath.
And so say the lower, you talk about the diaphragm or the lower respiratory system relating to the lower chakras. Would it move up like that?
It would, and so not necessarily the diaphragm, but you can breathe. When someone is really using the lower parts of the respiratory system, you will see right down to the pubic bone, you will see movement going up and down when you breathe. And if you don't, then you're probably not using your diaphragm, and you're not breathing very effectively and using a lot of other muscles to compensate for not using the breath you were given to breathe with. So pretty important to use your diaphragm.
Okay, so it's not like the lower lobes of the lungs itself, it's the entire flow of movement facilitating the breath through the chest. So the diaphragm impacting the abdomen right down below. So it isn't just the lungs.
No, not at all. And that's where there's a lot of misconception, because a lot of people use their intercostal muscles or their chest muscles to breathe because they think that's the way to get air into their lungs. And that's a very stressful breath. And so that's not really the right way. The correct way is to use the diaphragm and allow the air to create a vacuum that the air will fill. And then, therefore, the lower part will fill first, and then it will go up and all the way up into the upper lungs.
Are there typical patterns that you see? So, I've heard of apical breathing, or upper chest breathing, or belly breathing, or and what would those mean if there are typical patterns?
There are. There's for one thing, no two people breathe alike, so you're going to see never the same exact breathing pattern, which is kind of amazing of all the different people. But it's sort of like the snowflake theory. There's no two snowflakes alike, and it's because we all relate to life differently. We all have our different hit. But there are some major categories of breathing pattern that represent different types, and I've had people who have studied other, let's say, forms of healing, and in the classifications of people that we come up with based on their breathing pattern are similar to different classifications that other modalities give. So it's very interesting how the tie-in is. You can find a tie-in between different modalities.
Hi there, my name is Nina Wallinder, and I wanted to talk to you about Layers of Health. Layers of Health is a free online community dedicated to investigating holistic and alternative health options. These options can include physical health, mental and emotional health, business health, as well as your spiritual health. So you can join me as I discuss your health concerns with various experts, mentors, and leaders in their fields. And these interviews are offered for free live, as well as during special encore presentations. But if you find one that is particularly interesting to you, you can also purchase it. So you can join me at www.layersofhealth.com, and I'll see you on the calls.